moving on. Again, my next pair that I look at is the pound Swiss. Quickly again, week's open there. Got the first bar of the day. Long and short trigger there. Red bar there is where I've come to the chart. So I've put my stop order in at this level. Trade's triggered, so we're now short. And you can see this is the first trade that's gone on to hit first and second target there. Similar story again to the other pairs we just looked at. The trade was managed to an overnight level, which was this bar here. So we're looking at the 11 PM till 3 AM bar is where I've just moved that where I've been messing around previously, so it was there. So that's the overnight high. So I set my stop loss to that level, and we can see the trade has gone on to trigger my stop, which is fine. I've hit first and second targets there, and I'm positive on the third part of the trade, so I'm happy with that. Just one thing to note on the chart, on the 4-hour chart, you probably see on some of them the white lines, the white dotted lines, which are these. I've decided to mark up the previous week's high and low on this just to see what happens. And we can see the current live bar is straddling last week's low. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that and look and see whether I can use that as a new ideal bar to trade off of. So potentially I could enter long and short. So I'm all flat on this trade, so I've got no open positions. So I could set a long and short entry there based off last week's low. I'm not going to physically do that. I'm just going to make a note of where it happened in the level and the price levels. I'll make a note on a piece of paper and just see how that pans out and see if there's anything that can be done with that. Penultimate pair I'm looking at is the pound yen. Things are very similar on most of the pairs from the trades I've had so far since yesterday morning. Weekly open, short trigger, long trigger there. We can see this actually triggered short. I came again strictly. I don't know whether I should have been actually taking this trade on, strictly speaking. Again, I came to charts at this red line here, and by the time I'd come to the chart, the price had breached the high. I think it was by a 1 pip or 1.5 pips, with the spread taken into account, had just breached where the long trigger would have been. Obviously, I didn't at that time. I wasn't awake, so I didn't have a long trigger set up there. So I came to the charts and I did set a short trigger, which was the 137.20 level around there, which was beneath the low of this green bar. So I took the short trade off that. So again, I don't know whether strictly I've stuck 100% to the rules out. Maybe I've just flexed them slightly, but either way I was short is the end result. And it has worked out in my favour, fortunately, this time. You can see I've had first and second targets. Third target just off the screen, not hit. And similar story with the trade management. That's the high of my overnight bar, so that would be the 11 PM to 3 AM bar. That was my high. So I moved the stop to that level, which is between first and second target. So effectively I've made quite a few pips on the last part as well. So that was a positive trade again, albeit that's maybe not a cut and dry trade because of my entry and how I entered the actual trade. So it's open for debate there. My last pair is the pound dollar. Now this is the pair I actually use the Verquad snatch strategy on. So if we look at I've got a 3-minute chart open, so we'll just scroll back a little further to just zoom in so we can see everything properly. We can see the red line there is the short trigger and the blue line is the long trigger. So I've taken the trade on. I've also not got the previous 4-hour trade zone set up on this, so it's a bit hazy. But this was a pullback entry, short there with the once it triggered short. Stop was the highest point of the retracement before triggering the trade, which was there. If I remember rightly, the boundaries of the long and short triggers were around this level, because I know it's set up a short trade around here somewhere, didn't trigger and went all the way back up to long, and I had a pending long order there, which obviously didn't trigger, and it breached. There's 1, 2, 3 bars around there, which are all pretty similar in length, so it wasn't really like a previous swing low. It's basically just gone straight back down to the short trigger and set up a new direction off the short trigger. That was a pullback entry. You can see first, second, and third targets were hit on the intraday part of the trade. Also, the same entries were taken for the swing part. If we look at the 4-hour chart, red line is the shorts, and blue obviously is the stop. So all 3 parts of the intraday trade I've completed, hit all 3 targets. We've got the swing trade on, that's hit the first and second targets very, very quickly yesterday morning on this bar, which was that push down there. And then for the remainder, I think like Phil has been explaining on his analysis of the pound, which I've loved, regarding the trend lines, trend channels, he's been identifying the interesting price levels. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars there, call it 4 bars there, which are a pretty sort of sideways action where it's had that massive push down and then it's sort of consolidated and just stuck in that range. Overnight high was the purple line, which I entered my trade on. Fortunately for me, this live bar had managed to push down and hit the third target before retracing back up to where it is now. So fortunately, I've managed to hit all three positions on my swing trade and all 3 positions on the intraday trade for the Furquad snatch on the pound dollar. So yeah, very, very happy with the week's results so far, taking everything into account. I think the pip total so far is probably 150 pips or so shy of last week's total. That's already for Tuesday morning, so before lunchtime. So I'm well impressed again so far. I'm just waiting for prices to retrace now, just to see if I can get any re-entries on any of the pairs. That was the pound dollar, pound yen. Again, waiting for just to see where it retraces, see if it gets back up to the weekly open. One other interesting thing I've been looking at, which I looked at last week, was fibs from the high to the low of the move. Now we can see it's gone up to the 61% level. So based off how I've traded in the past with fibs with Phil, I'll be looking at a move up to the 61 or 50 fib level, and then a close below the next level. So it's gone up to the 61, so looking for a close then below the 61 or the 50 to see if we can enter a trade there. So that's something I'm going to be looking at.